What's up, guys? My name is Alden. Today I'm going to share with you a few things that an INFJ will do if they like you. So just to preface before I dive in, I feel like INFJs are very particular. I think they're just highly selective because we use our introverted intuition as our main function to, in a way, harness as much information as possible about a person before we kind of cognitively make that decision on whether or not we like them. It's like we put that person through this mindfulness process where carefully and intricately examine every single detail about them, their values, their principles, their hobbies, if their life course kind of aligns with ours. And I think it's important too, so there's a phrase called demisexual, and it sounds weird, but all that means is you don't form an attraction to someone unless there's an emotional element to it. So all that means is basically you find attraction through emotional connection. Physical attraction is important, but I think what matters the most is to have that intellectual, emotional, almost spiritual connection first. That's really the thing that's going to stir the INFJ's chili. Like, that's the thing that's really going to oil the cogs. So here's some things. INFJs are very subtle when it comes to expressing interest. Unfortunately, you might not know at first if they are into you or if they're simply just being themselves. Like, for example, like something that I find myself doing is a lot of staring, like gawking. Like you're just like not in like a creepy way, but just in like you're just like literally looking at a person and taking in their soul and their energy and like that vibration that they're giving off. So a lot of just like you've heard like the INFJ stare. That's definitely true. I feel like when we're really analytical, or like I found this like little feather thing, when we're like really, really trying to take a person in, it's like we'll just stare at them and we'll even lock eyes because it's like we're just taking in so much information beyond even what they're saying, what they're talking about. It's like we're listening on a completely different frequency. And ultimately what we're trying to figure out is we want to know a person's values. We want to know their heart. We want to know their principles. We're not into that superficial shenanigan nonsense. Like, we want to get and cut deep and be like, yo, homie, what you about, girl? What you about? That's ultimately what we're after. I feel like this can create problems too because the INFJ like hates small talk. We're very quick, sometimes a little bit too quick, to dive into those like super deep questions, where we're asking somebody almost casually, so tell me about the trauma that you've been through. Or maybe you're going to ask something like, after 2 or 3 sentences, so how close are you with your parents? What's the deal there? So if they're quickly asking those questions, then good chance is, maybe you're a little bit taken back, but that's actually a good sign. They want to get to know you. So we're old souls. Casual dating's dead. INFJs are really deep, so they're going to want to know everything about you, all the little details, everything that makes you tick. They're good, I feel like we're good listeners. Like when we listen to people, we really do give them that undivided attention. Like everything else stops, it gets moved to the peripherals, and we just hone in on what that person's saying. I think another way that you'll know if an INFJ likes you is they're gonna want to protect you. So it's like they're gonna treat you like they're an extension of themselves in a way. They're always going to want to know that you're safe. They're always going to want to know that you're taken care of. I think this is where that extroverted feeling function comes into play. We're natural nurturers, like natural empaths. And I think like though we're perceived from the world as like this calm and collective, like chill person, like, yo dude, I'm just over here straight up vibing. The quickest way for an INFJ to absolutely lose their shit and go batshit crazy is if the person that they like, the person that they love, is in an immediate threat or like is in danger, or you know their safety is in jeopardy. Like something turns in our head, and I think you'll see a side to the INFJ that you'll never see, that like, you know, the normal person wouldn't see. The more obvious way to tell if the INFJ likes you is like honestly they're just gonna want to be around you a bunch. Quality time is very important. I feel like most INFJs, like their number one love language is usually quality time. They want to be around you, they want to be feeling you, they want to be in your presence. One time I had a crush on this coworker, and I tried to make it as discreet as possible. Like, for example, like she had a cubicle that was kind of on my route that I would take to like go get stuff off of the printer, like in the printer room. And I always just had a way of just like, you know, bringing my paper by and being like, oh, like, what are you doing here? Or, oh, that's right, your cubicle is right here. And I always just made it seem like it was just kind of like a coincidence that I was right over at her cubicle, like right at her desk talking to her. So the point is I was around her a lot, right? We can be very indirect with that, because I think one of our greatest fears is like we never want to come off like too needy or too demanding or like too annoying. So whenever we like someone, we're just like always like just kind of like prying, like peeling back layers of layers, trying to understand where this person's at, because the worst thing for us to experience is rejection. So we want to know that the feeling's mutual. Kind of think of an INFJ in the beginning stages of relationship almost as like a sniper. So we're not like the front men, like, you know, in the trenches. Like we're more like, our strategy is more just kind of be discreet, be in the back, you know, like wait for that perfect moment when you're sure that you're gonna, you know, get it. Last thing is gonna be humor, I would say. My friends that I share the closest bond with, I would say, are the ones that I can laugh the hardest with. And in relationships, I feel like sharing the same sense of humor is an exchange of intimacy. INFJs kind of have this weird mix of like, you've got dry humor mixed with a little bit of cringe and cheerful nihilism, which is basically making light of a serious situation. We can often like belittle ourselves too in a joking way. I've had to get a little bit better at like negative self-talk, like calling myself a piece of shit, or like, wow, you're a dumbass today, aren't you? Not good, like not okay, like definitely don't self-talk yourself like that. And sometimes the jokes are kind of placed at the most unexpected times too. Like they're just kind of like weaved in and almost borderline inappropriate too. So when the INFJ is able to share that laugh with someone, I feel like it's really sweet and it's very bonding. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully that helps. Anyway, feel free to write in the comments if you have questions, send me a message. Glad to help. Thanks so much.